the link. Alright, how are we doing this? Okay. Definitely be much more than that. Yeah, doing alright. Nothing special going on. But welcome. Hope you're doing alright. Oh, I forgot about these. I think it's it's who you think it is, and I will say yes. We will soon find out, and I'm trying not to drag it out any more than it needs to. Hello. Won't be able to finish it on stream because there's some stuff that I can't draw given the scenario. So I'll have to save that for after stream. But I'm drawing as much as I can. And if there's time, I'll move on to something else that we can draw for the remainder of the stream. But if not, then I'll just cut the stream short. So yeah, this will likely be a short stream. Yeah, it's just one of those scenarios where I want to stream, but I also want to work on the stuff I need to work on. So it's either I stream a little bit of it, or I don't stream at all. Or I stream something completely unrelated, and it just soaks up time. And normally I'd be able to draw nudity on this, but given the scenario, it might be misinterpreted as erotic. So I'm kind of picking my battles here. But I don't know, maybe in the future I'll be a little bit more bold about it. It's one of those things where it's like, as long as it's not showing arousal, then it's fine, but hard to say for this particular comic. because it's kind of like a back and forth thing. So I think I'm just gonna go with draw as much as I can, and then probably cut the stream short, just so I can continue working on it. Hello. My day's been alright. Nothing special. Just been working on stuff. Working on this. Trying to get more things out, but I gotta jump around on what needs to be worked on. I definitely need to work on this more, but I'm trying to get other things off the ground. It's not even that, it's just their rules are really vague on what's allowed, because we'll have situations like, you know, the Meat Canyon's gooning animation being a thing, but then like sometimes nudity is restricted or not restricted or whatever the case may be. Like one of my streams with Becky was restricted, but the other ones weren't. So again, it's just kind of like whatever. I mean, granted, all of my videos I've said are not for kids or anyone under the age of 18 anyway, but I don't know how far that goes in terms of what they decide to remove or not. So I'm kind of just playing by ear. And there might be some streams where I'm just like, fuck it, draw whatever it is, as long as it's not like penetration type of thing, or you know, seeing like cum. Well, even the cum part is questionable because that was on the Meat Canyon thing. So I'm like, yeah, I think just playing by ear is just gonna have to be my option. I'm just like, okay, what do I think will be okay to stream, and then go with it, because not exactly there's not exactly a right answer. But I think as long as everything's properly labeled and stuff like that, I should be fine. But hopefully nothing becomes an issue. Might want to change how that looks on that side. So maybe go like this. But yeah, like I wish there was just a feature where it was just like, hey, this content is sectioned off to this part of YouTube. That's it. You don't have to, you know, walk on eggshells here. It's just, if you make this kind of content, your content goes onto this part of YouTube, and that's that. And anybody who's underage cannot even go to that. Or like, you know, if there's like tags or something that you don't want to see, you just put them on your like personal block lists or whatever, and there you'll never see that kind of content, as long as they are properly labeled. And then if something becomes a problem, then obviously that'll be up to YouTube to decide. But then of course, you know, most people in general are pretty much prudes. So unless something's making a shit ton of money, they're probably gonna side with, oh no, that's inappropriate because, I don't know, we see a butt or something. But whatever. Like I said, I'm just gonna play by ear and see what happens. It's just an annoyance. Hello, hello. Actually, this should be on a different layer. Makes that part easier. Hello. Welcome. Mostly just working on this and off stream or off. Yeah, off stream. I'm working on other stuff that I can't show. Hopefully, I'll have one ready either by tomorrow or Friday, and then this will be ready as soon as I can. In recent weeks, did the 10th anniversary of IHAT. My birthday was last week. Not much else, really, honestly. Almost forgot about the birthday thing. I was like, what? I'm like, oh yeah. Let's move this further down. Mostly just coasting until Halloween. There are other things I want to work on, but I'm trying to get through other things first. Well, I was doing that since I want to say was it sixth? No, it wasn't sixth grade. It was ninth grade. So that was like what, 14, 15, around that time. But I've been drawing since I was like 2. But in terms of comics, I would say around that age 14, 15. And then I would say things didn't get more serious until I want to say 2012 when I was doing Buckle, because that was making a little bit of money before Patreon was a thing. And then was doing commissions and stuff, and then 2015 was when IHAT started and things started expanding from there. No pun intended. Um, um, that would be 2015 when I started doing IHAT. Like, I've drawn that stuff like here and there, and there was like a character that was a fat character slash weight gain character before then, but it wasn't like focused on her specifically. So yeah, 2015 was the start of that. Oh yes. Time went by rather quickly. Still feels like yesterday for me. I was like, oh hey, I'll do this, and then bam, 10 years later. That's funny. Did they do it? And yes, I know the Joker joke, where he's like, what? You son of a bitch! But I am curious on if they actually did it. Cool. Yeah, I mean, most artists won't give a shit. They'll just do it as long as they're getting, you know, paid. They're not gonna be offended by it. Usually, it's the people who are doing the commissioning who get upset with certain things, like how some people will only want their characters to be drawn in a very specific way, and they don't want any like fan art or anything else of that character, like period the end, or they'll get like really pissed about it. But yeah, usually the artists don't give a shit too much, unless it's like a very specific scenario. Because that's always been the case when people have asked me if they could draw my characters. They always ask me if there's any like restrictions or something that I wouldn't want to see, and I'm like, nah, go, like, have fun. It's like, if you want to draw them with Fuda, where as a Fuda, I don't give a shit. Just let me know how it look or where to find it. Like, I don't give a shit. And then, of course, you know, credit me for the character and all that, but other than that, I'd rather see what they come up with. Yeah, I know that feeling. You're like, hey, it's this time. You look outside and it's just darkness. You're like, Yay, softball in the rain. My favorite character, like, in general or of mine? And even then, that's a hard question. I have no idea how to answer. If we're talking like in general, like in like comic books and games and stuff like that, if I had to choose, it would probably be not exactly Sonic the Hedgehog specifically, but like the Sonic the Hedgehog series as a whole is probably my favorite. Of mine, that's a harder question because I like them all for different reasons. If I had to choose, I don't even know if I could pick even if I had to. Yeah, that's just a really loaded question. Probably Viro since he was my first. But again, I like other characters as well, like Becky and Marcy and several hundred others for different reasons. So that's like picking your favorite child type of question. Yeah, Marcy's a good like vanilla weight gain character. She's very simple. There's nothing complicated about her unless you want to count, typical high school girl problems. And then after that, she's just a fun character to have her stuff her face with. I mean, there's nothing to overthink about with her. Oh yes. But yeah, like Marcy's just a really good or a really fun go-to weight gain character. Like I try not to spam her too much, but I mean obviously this year might be the most spammed of her because of the anniversary and stuff like that. But other than that, like, Um, I try to hold back on overusing her as much as I can, so that way when I do draw her again, it's more fresh. It's not like I need to make her do anything new, aside from like if I want to build up on a little extra story about her, it could just be like, you know, some daily life thing, or her raising her kids or something, like nothing complicated. But yeah, like right now she's just, you know, perfectly balanced. Okay, I think we're good on this couch at this point. Let me just make sure everything else looks alright. Alright, so pretty much... I mean, I guess I could just keep going, and then the extra details I'll just have to do off stream. So yeah, I'll just keep going. Let me just grab a page that I can actually use. This should be fine. I mean, there's the whole comic you can read if you want to know. Like, I can give you a link to it. Yeah, there you go. Have fun. You might need an account if you're gonna see the mature pages and stuff. But yeah, there you go. Have fun. And I was like, why is this missing? I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I flipped those. Yeah, I'm trying to work on it. One, I'm definitely rebooting it because it's definitely not falling into where I want it to go currently in my headspace and all that. Secondly, I do want to redesign her, which I technically did, but I need to have like an official artwork of her. And I was gonna draw her for a set, but then I realized that she didn't fit the set that I was working on, so I'm gonna put her in a different one. But but yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to get back to that as well. There's a lot of stuff I need to do and want to do. I'll get there. Much to do. Right? Caitlin's like, what the hell? It's like, oh look, it's the consequences of my actions. Though to be fair, it's not like she was aware that this would become a thing. It would be different if she was told, "Hey, don't do this," and then she did it anyway. But yeah, some details I'm not gonna draw on stream, just to help prevent there being any issues. Although with how vague the rules are, even this could probably be problematic. But let's just see where life takes me. Oh yes. It would probably be that one picture of the guy looking back at the other woman. That meme. It'd probably be like Skylar looking at Caitlyn for a moment, and Marcy going like, Skylar. Or even worse, where like he would be walking by and sees Caitlyn and uses all of his willpower to not turn around. And Marcy's just looking at him, going like, "I know you want to look." Or actually, it'd be kind of cute. Like he's fighting all of his urges to turn around, and Marcy just goes up to him and says, "You have my permission to turn around." Or she just says, "You may turn around," or "You may look." That'd be kind of cute. And he'd be like, "Oh, thank God." Or it'd be like that one meme of Richardi from JoJo um, looking at oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Why am I blanking on his name? I know it starts with a G. Now Journo, there we go. God damn, it's been a while. Where he's just staring at him when he's trying not to lie. So I could totally see Marcy giving Skylar that look. Oh, that'd be cute too. He says as he gives Marcy's ass a big old grope. It would be interesting to have Marcy be around other weight gain or fat characters. Because Marcy's definitely not the biggest. But it would be interesting to see her interact with others. Or at least, observe. So maybe that'll be something I can do in the future. And it doesn't even have to be like a contest or anything. It could just be like a scenario where she just happens to be in an area that has those type of people. And then she just gets like a nice perspective. Because she kind of did that in the Chubby Chasers art set where she was shopping for bigger clothes. But it would be fun to see her in like a more open scenario. Oh yeah, that would be fun. Like she ends up meeting a bunch of like bigger women, becomes friends with them over something they have in common aside from eating, and then tells them about her husband's restaurant, and now she has like not only consistent customers but just like friends to hang out with outside of like Blake and Stacy. Meanwhile, Skylar trying not to bust a nut every time Marcy hangs out with her new friends. Could just see a whole inner monologue of Skylar just thinking about how big and fat they are, and him just sweating. He's like, I could make them bigger. No, that'd be too obvious. But then he's like, but they already are big. I mean, would it be suspicious if they suddenly got fatter? And he'd just be running through like a whole scenario in his mind. Which reminds me, I do need to dive into characters who are similar to Skylar but much worse. Have I heard of Crossed? Probably not. I'd have to see it if I know of it. Let me look it up, I might know it. I've seen it, but I haven't read it. I recognize the cover, some of the covers. I think I remember hearing about what the story was, but that was like years ago, so I've likely forgotten it all. But yeah, good on them if they're getting a live action. See where that goes. Hopefully they won't have to change too much to make it work. Yeah, I can see Skylar going like, holy shit, and then peeking outside and realizing who he's serving. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those scenarios where it's like, they might have to change something because it gets dark, but if they do that, that kind of ruins the point. It's like, oh yeah, we picked up this series because of how popular it is or how whatever the story is, but then you want to change the story, and it's like, well, what was the point then? That was kind of the case with Walking Dead, where there's like a ton of changes. Yeah, true. Like you can have several interpretations of a story. It's just sometimes you just want to see what was in the comic be put on screen, whether it be animated or live action. But if it's not possible, or if it just has to change in order to make it happen, then it is what it is. Just means comics are superior. Just saying. Yeah, like it would suck if it was like a situation like the movie Wanted, um, where the comics is like it's like literally night and day. They are like not even the same fucking story, and like the only things really that are similar is like some character names and like curving bullets. That's it. Like that's like the only thing that's similar, and then the rest is just not even remotely the same story or even series really. If you've ever read the comics of Wanted, like if you read the comics, you would be like, "What the hell? How is this even the same film?" Yeah, like I saw Wanted, and I was like, okay, this is neat. They can curve bullets, blah 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 blah. Then I get introduced to the comic, and I read the comic, and I'm like, what the hell? This is not even remotely the same story. All that's the same are the character names, and that was it. I was like, what the hell? Constantine, I've only seen bits and pieces of the movie. I never watched the whole thing. Um, but from what I know, based off of like some bits of the comics and like the animated movies and stuff like that, um, I'm sure there's like giant differences with characters given what the character has to do and how he interacts with all the like demonic and godlike deities of the DC universe. Like characters like that, they're just like incredibly difficult to like carry over consistently or at all because of how people treat characters in scenarios like that. It's like, oh, this is about the devil and blah 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 blah. You know, I don't know if I'm comfortable with blah. It's like, great, so this is probably going to get changed because too many people are pussies. That's just the best way to put it. Or even worse is when you get a movie that's really well done with practical effects, and then for some stupid ass reason, the people in charge want to change it and put a bunch of CG over it, and then it just fucks up your movie. Like what happened to the 2011 The Thing movie, because there's like leaked footage of the practical effects version, and it looks so much better. Or I think it was like the behind the scenes, but still, it looks way better than what we got. And granted, I did like the 2011 version of The Thing, the prequel. They should have gave it a subtitle. The prequel of it, it wasn't bad. I just wish the CG was practical effects. Like, knowing that there is a version of it that's practical effects makes that movie slightly worse because of that knowledge. Evil Ernie, I have not seen. But yeah, if you ever look up the 2011 footage of the thing, the behind the scenes, you will see a vastly different timeline that we could have had. And like their excuse was like, "Oh, well, test group said they wanted more CG," and I was like, "That is the most biggest fucking lie I ever heard." Nobody in their right mind would have agreed to that. The whole point of CG is to do something you can't normally do to the best of your ability, not just make every bit CG, unless you have like a really good plan, thought out plan for it. Like, you can have an entire movie that's CG, and that's perfectly fine. Just don't make it shit. Let me look up Evil Ernie. I might have seen him. Oh yeah, I remember that design. I haven't read any of it though. I remember seeing him in like comic book stores, but I don't know anything about him. God help me if any of my stuff ended up getting animated or something. I would be so fucking on it. I'd be like, okay, if you're gonna do this, I want creative control, because if there's anything I would need to retain is creative control, because I know damn well that if I didn't have that, whatever it is they wanted to adapt would be shit. There are some things I might concede to if it makes the most sense, but for the most part, I'd like to keep it intact. And if there's something we can skip that's like not necessary to the story, then sure. It's like, fine, we don't need to know this, or this can be taken out or skipped. But other than that, it's like, nah. Let's try to keep it as close to the original as possible. You too, take care. They'd be like, yeah, we want to cut out the part where Marcy gets fat, and like, and there's the door. Or like they'll let her get fat, but she only gets like, you know, I don't know, like plus-sized elf type of size, and that's it. I'd be like, yeah, no. That defeats the whole point. we all know that'll never happen, so I would have to try to animate something like that myself or find a group of people willing to do something like that. We're like, all right. He's like, you want to ride the hell with me on this one? Mostly working on secrets. There's some pet projects I want to try to do, video wise. I just gotta have time for it. Um, there was the tutorial weight gain sequence, but that's like bottom of the list. It's not that important to work on. So whenever I want to get around to it, I will, assuming I will at all. There's just more important stuff aside from that. I do want to work on IHHAT Volume 2 and Black Circus and Buckle and World Gates. There's a lot I want to do, but I just have to tackle everything one page at a time. But I do want to up my speed on things because I'm aware that I've been lagging a bit. So yeah, mostly just getting more workout or pumped out. probably change that. And I think I'm gonna call it for tonight, so that way I can put in the other details. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish this up tonight, post it probably in the morning or whenever, and then move on. Probably work on either a side thing or just more pages of this. Trying not to do anything else because the anniversary thing was pretty much needed or a must. That's why I made those, and as well as Vor Day from the other month and whatever else. So some stuff just kind of snuck up on me, and because the anniversary I definitely wanted to do because I've been talking about that earlier in the year, but should have worked on that sooner. Like even if it was just like bit by bit. But yeah, gonna finish this up and just keep on doing what I'm doing. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I will stream again tomorrow. And yeah, see you then. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.